Okay, quick little video. I know it's a little noisy right now. I've been letting these wiper arms run for about 30 minutes. Let the bushings and bearings get warmed up, kind of generate some heat, and put a little lubrication on it. Got me some 20 weight synthetic oil to show you what operates in here. Okay, you get the idea. Let me turn this off so I can talk. Okay, much quieter. And what I was doing, I'd let this thing run for about 30 minutes to get these bushings all warmed up. And I got them lubricated. I'll put me some 20 weight synthetic oil on there that I have left over from when I used to race go-karts. We had some really good pure synthetic oil and to lubricate that. But that was kind of simple. But the one thing I want to talk about is these parts up here. I think these are called pantograph arms, wiper arms. And some years ago I had a problem with mine. It flew apart going down the road, because that's when that's always going to happen. Okay, here's the one I had to replace, and I'm going to tell you why I had to replace it. And if you do your maintenance, you won't have to do this. But that's when I was new to RVing. I had a lot to learn. Still got a lot to learn. I learn something every day. Here we got these arms, and on this one, 4 or 5 years ago, this arm popped off, and it was going crazy, going to scratch up the window and everything. What had happened after I got to investigating, water was getting in these little caps, and it would sit here, and it eventually rusted that post completely off. So this arm fell off, and you have to buy this whole assembly. I can't remember how much it was, but it wasn't cheap. I remember I didn't like it, but just for that one little post, you have to get this whole assembly. So I thought, okay, so future-wise, I need to keep water out. So what I did several years ago, you can see the remnants, is I put, this was a white lithium grease I put in there. Now, I've been doing some reading online, and some people recommend using a dielectric grease. So I'm going to try that this time, just to be different. Of course, the biggest thing is, of course, having some lubrication in there, but the biggest thing is keeping water out. So I'm wondering if this might do a better job about keeping water out, because this stuff looks like it's kind of drying up on me. I don't know how good a job it's going to keep water out. This is going to be thinner, and maybe it won't dry up as much. I'll experiment anyway. So I'm going to clean out all this lithium grease, fill it up with this dielectric grease, which I guess it's silicone based, and with a thickener when I was reading up on it. So I'm going to put that in there, keep the moisture out, to keep those from rusting off. And this is my original one, from 2005 model. It's still doing okay, but something you might want to check out on yours. To pop these caps off, they're real easy. That's what they look like when it's together, doing this one-handed. It just snaps on there. Just like that. So a pair of channel locks, you just pop them off, inspect them, put some maybe a little oil on there, fill them up with some dielectric grease or silicone or lithium grease, whatever you prefer, just to keep that water out. See, when you put it back together, another tip, this right here. If you take these arms off, be mindful of this little part here. Because if you're out in the grass, that thing's liable to fall off and be gone on you. You go to put it back together and it ain't going to work because you can't find this little piece. So keep an eye on it. And in fact, I think mine has don't know if that's a crack or not. Check that out. And then also when you, ouch, not my head. When you put it back together, you put your little dab of lubricant right here, because that's always pivoting on that. So while it was running for a while, I put me a few drops of oil on this, and anything that pivoted and moved, I let it generate some heat. So hopefully that'll keep things together. Because if you ever crap out one of these bushings, it's all made together. All this, all the arms and everything comes as an assembly. And I'm sure would not be cheap. So for a little peace of mind, throw some oil on there. And while I'm in here talking about this, you see this little plastic bag. This is a W24. It's probably on other models I've read in the forums, where you get into a monsoon of water and the wiper will not stop running. You turn them off and they just keep going because this connection gets wet and it shorts out. So I wrapped it up real good, and I still had problems. So maybe it's in the motor somehow, some way. Even with this plastic wrapped up, it would still, sometimes in a real heavy rain, the dang wipers would not shut off. So my final solution was this strip of insulation here. I think it's 3/8 thick, peel and stick. So now when I close it up, well, I can't close it because I've got a mirror in there, a light in there. But when I close it up, this creates a seal, and that keeps the water out. Because you imagine going down the road, how much water is coming off that windshield and runs right in that gap, and hits right into this electric motor, and the wiper connection and all that. So I think that's all the tips I got for you tonight. I was getting into this, and I thought that might be helpful for somebody. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye.